is someone that's been doing ads for quite some time on Facebook. I've been marketing online for quite some time, and there's a lot of people that entrust me with their ad dollars for a good reason. Just showing you a snapshot here of a single ad account that does over 5,000 a day, and they've been doing this consistently for the past year or more, which is just under $2 million a year. That's just one particular client. The point here is that my focus is on Facebook, and I want to break it down into bite-sized chunks so that you can take it and actually do something with it. I'm going to be sharing with you tonight a method that I call the invitation audience growth method. And it's going to be a single ad that we're going to create that is going to help you grow your tribe on Facebook, grow your audience, and it's going to help you build your engagement with your existing audience as well as find new people to like your page and become a part of your tribe. Because that is going to help move them from a cold target audience to a warm target audience that is starting to develop affinity for you and your brand. Okay? So this particular ad that we're going to create is going to do both of these things. It's going to help you grow your audience, and it's going to help you with engagement. Now, I've been teaching this for some time, and I actually started doing this about 4 or 5 years ago, and believe it or not, it still works incredibly well today. Now, a portion of it we couldn't do back then because some of the Facebook features and functions weren't even available until recently. So what I do is I start with these two things. I'm going to look for an image that is visually appealing. Why am I going to do this? Because Facebook is about things that are visually appealing when you're scrolling your newsfeed. That's just a matter of fact. The content that gets the most engagement on Facebook right now is Facebook Live, followed by static videos that you've uploaded to Facebook, followed by now animated GIFs, and then followed by visually appealing images. Okay, so the visual is what stops a person in their tracks as they're scrolling their newsfeed. It captures their attention. Now, in addition to that, if we move that image aside and we look over to the other side, I want to come up with a quote that stands on its own. In other words, if it was just a quote that was black text on a white background, I want it to reflect me, my brand, my tribe, whatever that I'm trying to build, and also I want it to be something that will appeal to the people that I'm trying to reach. And of course, I always give a reference to the author of the quote if I can find that. Now, here's what happens when you marry the two of them. It becomes a post to your page. And that's what we're going to actually be looking at today. And this is a post that I used, and I did it for demonstrative purposes back in January before we had one of the MLSP coaching calls, actually going once a month with the MLSP coaching program. I take some time and share some some of the things that I'm finding are working best on Facebook, as well as look at content of some of the people in the coaching program. And so on my own page, in this case of the cobbler's kids having no shoes, I don't really use my own page to build my brand because I've been doing this long enough that everything that I do comes from referral. But this is a post that I use on my own page for the purpose of creating engagement and drawing in the right people. You're going to see more about this later. Now, the next thing I want to say is that we're going to be creating an ad, and you will all be able to follow along with this, or at least be able to understand the concepts. But before we can even create the ad, I want you to consider what the first impression is of your page, because that's what we're doing. Think about this. If the objective here is to build your audience and to increase engagement with that audience, what does your brand represent? Okay? So to kind of demonstrate that, I wanted to take a look at a couple of the pages of, not actually looking at the pages, but just looking at the first impression, the cover image on pages of some of the folks in the MLSP community. Diane Hoffman, when you get to her page, do you have to wonder what she does? She's a speaker, mentor, trainer in the home and small business development. Okay, she's got a call to action here: connect with me. It's clear what she does. Brian here, I can help you to take your business to the next level. And he's the CEO of MLSP, a visionary and an entrepreneur. Okay, he's speaking from stage. For those of you that have been to any of the Live the Dream parties in the past, this was one at his house where you can see him playing the guitar there. That's in his in the profile picture. We look at Jelena. Here, she's telling you how you can generate 2 to 3 leads per day on social media for your home business, okay? Is it clear what she does? Absolutely. So when you're trying to grow your page, you want it to be very clear and demonstrate what it is that you do. Some people will appeal to, and other people it won't. That's okay. You don't need everyone. You're just looking to find your tribe, all right? Sherry Brown, another one here. Basically, she's saying that Back to Basics Academy. She teaches social media marketing and branding, simplified. Joshua Fair, inspiring entrepreneurs. Find your voice, light your passion, and live your purpose. So in other words, the point here is you want to look to demonstrate that when a person comes to your page, you want it to be clear what your brand is about so that people know. Otherwise, if they don't know and they're liking your page, they maybe liked it for the wrong reasons. You want it to be clearly demonstrated what you're about. And I want to give you an example that's outside of that. This here, Karen and John have done a fantastic job of building this page. I think they have about 70,000 fans. And what's significant about this here is you don't always have to use photo quotes. I'm just demonstrating that here for you because it's what I call lowest hanging fruit. It's one of those things that's easiest to do to build your audience. But in their particular case, they've done something incredibly brilliant. You can do this in any field, whether it's deer hunting, whether it's scuba diving, you name it. But what they did is because they have a healthy living-based page, some time back, they posted an image of this awesome, these lettuce wrap boats with quinoa, and as you can see here, it's through their advertising to support this, and we're going to create a similar type of ad supporting a post, so you'll see how to do this. They've got 36,000 people that have reacted to this and almost 10,000 shares. So it doesn't have to be a photo quote, but the point is you want it to be cocktail party-ish kind of conversation, and this actually does very well at that. So we're almost there. We're going to get out of presentation mode, but I just wanted to show you on my own personal page, I've used this as an example. And when I use that quote that I showed you that I created earlier, I use this one and I think one other one. And just from the engagement and people that engage these posts, and this is a targeted audience, by the way, not just anyone, I was able to grow the page in 30 days to about 7,000 fans of the page. And this is something that any of you can do. And again, I just show this because it's clear when you get to my page what it is that I do. I'm a Facebook marketing specialist. You see me speaking from stage about Facebook. It's clear what I do, and I'm inviting the people that I believe will be a fit for the value that I offer. All right, a couple more slides. Just wanted to show you here this process that we're about to go through. It's a 3-step process. In the very beginning, you are going to simply post it to your page, and this is going to give you organic reach. Now, organic reach can be anywhere from 1 to 20% of your existing audience. So let's say that you have 1,000 fans on your page. When you post something organically, you may get 100 people that see it, you may get 50, you may get 200, okay? That's step one. You post it to your page and you let it reach the people it's going to reach on its own. And these are the people that have the tightest connection with your page because they've liked, shared, or engaged your content in the past. Now, the second step is we will actually create an ad. And what we want to do with that ad is we want to show it to the rest of our fans, okay? The rest of the people that didn't see it naturally and organically. That's going to do a couple of things. One, it's going to help build the social proof of the ad, of the post, meaning more likes, more comments, more shares. It's also going to be putting more content, making sure that the people who are already fans of my page that I'm looking to develop rapport with, they are going to be seeing that content, so that way I'm building a tighter connection with them. And if they engage it, then they're more likely to see my future content in step one, just basic organic reach. Now, the third step here is, now that I've warmed up this post, and people have seen it who are already fans of my page, now it has social proof, and I want to release it into the wild, so to speak. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move from warm target audience, the people who already know something about me, that have liked my page or engaged me in the past, to cold target audience, the people that I want to become part of my tribe, that I want to connect with my page, and that I want to be engaged with in the future. These are people that I want to move from suspect to prospect to customer. Okay? Hope that's making sense. Now, before we jump into that, I got one last slide I want to show you, then we're going to jump out of presentation mode. I've had people in the past ask me, well, how long can you run an ad like this and how effective can it be? When you look at the date on this ad over here, it's September 26, 2014. It's been shared 376,000 times and liked 610 times. This post is still running live for this particular client, and it's still effective. You think it shows up with social proof for the new people seeing it? It's bringing new fans to the page, and it's continuing to engage people. Now, we're going to jump out of presentation mode here so that I can bring over my screen, and we're going to look at some ads now. We're going to go through the ad creation process. All right, so here we are, and I'm actually looking at the MLSP community page. Here's something I want you to be clear on. Now, every single person that has a Facebook account has access to an ad account. Two ways you can do it. You can just simply click down here and go to create ads if you've never done it before, or manage ads, and either one of those will get you there. Okay, I'm going to click on create ads and let it drop me right into the ad creation screen. Okay? Now, once you're here, and by the way, it's important to know that Facebook continues to evolve and change over time. Some of you may be familiar with this screen, and others of you might actually see something a little bit different. Okay? It's even telling us here, objectives have changed. Okay? And I can tell you what's changed because I see this page every day, pretty much all day for many years now. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. The first thing I want you to know is that don't be overwhelmed by all of this because we're not going over all of this stuff today. We're going to be focusing right here on the type of ad we're going to create, which is an engagement ad. The moment you click that, it's going to give you three options down here, but two of them are the ones we're talking about today, and that is post engagement and page likes. Now, in the past, I would have highly recommended you do a combination of the two. But I believe that you will get more bang for your buck right now by using a post engagement and not a page likes ad. You can test them both, and that's truly the answer to everything when it comes to marketing is to test it. So I'm going to go ahead and just call this test engagement. You're going to name this whatever is going to help you remember what the objective was and what you were trying to accomplish. Okay? Now, before I go on further, I want to show you something else in this ad creation process. Over here on the left-hand side, you have three areas here that break up the hierarchy of a Facebook ad, right? And they've done this to simplify things for you. You have the objective area, which is where you're going to choose what you want to accomplish. You want traffic to your website, you want to grow your audience through engagement, you want video views, you want to create leads on Facebook. That's all your choices right here. Your ad set is the who, what, where, when, how much of where your ad's going to be seen, all that sort of thing. And then your ad down here, this level, this is where the creative comes in. And this is everything that your prospect sees. The image, the call to action, all the supporting text, the headline, all of that is here. And Facebook has done a pretty good job now of walking you through these steps. So now that we've named our campaign and we've chosen post engagement, we're going to click continue. And the moment that you do this, you're going to notice that it's actually, if I want to use something from my last ad, I'm going to say no. Okay? So now in this section here, I have got the ad set level. It's telling me we are done over here with the objective. All done. So this part, check it off. We're in this section here, which only has three different components. The first one is audience. Now, a couple of things to consider with audience. Facebook targeting is what makes Facebook the most powerful marketing medium on planet Earth, bar none. There is no other platform that will allow you to be as precise and specific with who you're going to target. And I'll give you some examples. So for the post that's on my page, and I'll actually go there and show it to you. I posted this today just for this specific example. Okay? And the post is, I'm going to use a photo quote because it's something accessible to everyone. You don't have to use one, but you want to use something that's highly engaging. In fact, this is the image that I used right here. This is the quote that I came up with. To give you a little bit more background, as a marketer, I keep a swipe file, meaning that I've been keeping images for some time. I found this image about 4 months ago, thinking to myself, I am going to use that image at some point. Why? Because it's just so visually appealing, right? It captures your attention. I got other ones on here. I think of the quotes that can go with these. And so these are just some of the things that I have that I've been saving up to use at any given time, whether for myself or for a client, just because if you think of the care and feeding of Facebook, Facebook eats this up, okay? It doesn't have to be a photo quote, as I mentioned. It could be something like those lettuce boats, okay? Something specific to your industry. I've seen some really creative advertising lately, even for a dentist. There's this singing dentist that is doing this rap. And it's brilliant because it's social content, okay? Now, once I got through this here, I actually went through this process of creating a couple of variations of this one. Like, this is not the one I finished on. It was a Napoleon Hill quote. It was another quote. And I moved around different areas on here just to see how they would perform. And so these are some of the things. I just want to give you some background on how this started. One other thing before I move on, I want to show you. Facebook has what is called the text overlay tool. This used to be the 20% tool where you could see if you had too much text. And Facebook's going to grade it based on okay, text low, text medium, text high. Your ad may not run at all, okay? So what I did is I began uploading a couple images. I started with this one, and Facebook said text low. It would still run, but I might be penalized a little bit, meaning I might not reach as many people, and I might pay a little bit more for my ad. Okay, then I tried this one, and it says, oh, your text is okay, it's going to run normally. Cool. Well, I didn't really want that particular quote. I was looking for a better one. This one, again, text will run okay. I ran this one. It was too large in the bottom here. So then I uploaded this one here, and it says it will run normally. And that is the one that actually ended up and landed on my page, okay? So the first thing that happened here is we can see that of my 7,000 fans, or people that have liked my page, 601 people have been reached. And I posted this 3 hours ago. Again, I did this specifically for this training tonight. Before that, the last time I posted I think 2 days ago, and then before that, April 8th, and then before that, March 1st. So I'm not really posting to my page very often, but I was real specific about who I targeted, which is why it's actually still giving me, right now I've reached almost 10%, and I don't post very often. So 601 people, shared 4 times, liked 20 times. So you remember when we were talking about the 3 steps? Post it, let it reach whoever it's going to reach organically first, and that is what it's done. It's reached about 9% of my audience organically without an ad. Now comes step 2. I can boost this post from here, okay? And if I do that, it's going to give me some targeting options, and I can put a button in there with a call to action and all that sort of thing. But I'm not going to do that. Actually, I could, and I could say people who like my page. That way I don't have to worry about targeting what country they're in. If I simply did people who targeted my page, that's one way I can give a boost to this, okay? And this is telling me, for $7, I will reach up to 1,400 people. Now, people have asked me, when is it best to boost your post from your page, and when do you need to create an ad? And that's a good question. And the answer has changed a little bit over time. It used to be that you were paying a bit of a premium for convenience. But in the very beginning, because I simply want to reach the people who have liked my page, meaning the rest of my audience, okay, these people right here, the other 6,400, 500 that didn't see this post, that if I want to reach those people, I can use this one. People who like my page, and I can see $7, I might want to bump that up. Let's say if I did $20, reach 2,800 people, that's one of the ways that I can do this, okay? And what duration? I would probably spread that out over 7 days. Why not? I don't need to do it in a hurry, but if I wanted to, I could make sure that a bunch of people saw it fairly quickly. All right? So I'll go ahead and do that just for the sake of it meets the objective of what I want to accomplish. The reasons that I wouldn't do this beyond this, the other options that you saw here, people I choose through targeting, you always want to do that through the ads manager. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and boost this. That would complete step 2. Okay? So step 2 in that process I showed you is complete now. Now, what happens for step 3? Now, let's say that I already completed step 2, and now this reaches about 4,000 people, or a good 50% of my existing audience. It's got more likes, it's got some comments, it's got some shares. Okay, that's the point I would go into the ads manager, and I would come over here, and I'm at the ad set level again. Remember, we already chose our objective, which was engagement, post engagement. We gave it a name, and we moved forward. And that brought us down to the ad set level. Okay, at this point, I will say, I also want to reach Canada. Okay, I will come down here a little further, and I'm going to say ages 22 to 64. Does that mean that my target audience isn't outside of there? No, I'm just trying to narrow my sweet spot a little bit. Both men and women is fine. I do want to choose English. I'm going to choose English all. I'm going to move down here a little bit further. Now, because of the nature of my business, I know who my ideal avatar is. Okay, it's anyone that does any form of marketing on Facebook, that's branding on Facebook, that's growing their audience, engaging their audience, selling products and services, generating leads. Okay, right now, because I haven't specified anything other than country and age and gender and language, it's telling me my potential reach right now is 173 million people. If I come down here further, one of the things I will immediately do, and by the way, it's going to pull up interests that you've already used in the past, so it's giving some suggestions right away. And also, sometimes it will pre-populate suggestions for you based on who it sees the audience of your page being. Okay? If you share an audience with work-at-home moms or Ray Higdon or Eric Worre, a lot of times it'll pre-populate this for you as kind of a guidance. What I want to do, because I am a Facebook marketing specialist, I want to narrow my audience to anyone who has a Facebook page. They're an admin on a page. And so I'll come in here, and this is one of the cool things you can do with Facebook. I'm going to go Facebook page admin. Okay? The moment I do that, I can see that there are now 40 million people who actually are an admin on a Facebook page. Now that doesn't narrow it down very much for me, but I have some other options down here in my targeting. I can exclude some people, or I can also narrow my audience, and that's what I want to do. I want to say they must meet this criteria, and they must also, let's see, media examiner, okay? I was just at an event here, which is in my industry, which is Social Media Examiner. They put on Social Media Marketing World, about 3,000 or so people there in San Diego a few weeks back. So if I started there, now I have a potential reach of 2.7 million. I can also include Social Media Week. And by the way, you notice at the moment you do this, it's starting to give you some suggestions. Mari Smith, she was actually one of the speakers there. I could do Amy Porterfield. I can do Social Media Today. I could start doing a lot more here, but what I want to do, I think this is a wide enough net, and I usually will start wide because I'm paying for data, because I want to see who's responding. But I know that anyone that has a Facebook page is interested in social media, any of these things here. They're trying to utilize social media to promote something, right? So that's how I'm targeted. Now, because I've been specific here, I can also narrow it down. I know that in social media marketing, there's more women than men. I know the sweet spot is between the ages of about 35 and 55, but I'm still going to leave it wide open here. But I do have those options to narrow if I wanted to. I can do geographic as well. We saw in here I chose Canada and the United States. I don't have to keep those. I can also add the other larger English-speaking countries of New Zealand, Australia, and the United Kingdom. But for now, I'm going to leave those. Now, here's the other important thing. Let's say that this is a target audience you know you will revisit on a regular basis. I could save this audience. But I got one more thing I want to do. I want to exclude the people who are already fans of my page because I'm looking to grow my audience here. Okay, so if I come in here and I select this, now I am going to exclude anyone who already likes my page but meets all of this criteria. And I could save this audience, and I could call it anything from, I could just even put in the things that will remind me who this audience is. So I might go Canada, US, I might say 22 to 64, and then I might say social media interest, and then Facebook admins. So it's whatever is going to help you know who this audience is. And if I save that, now that is the audience that I am using. And I don't have to go through this process again in the future. Okay, that's done here. So the next step is placement. You can get there by scrolling down, or you can come over here and click on placement. And the thing I want to tell you about placement that's going to be helpful to you, regardless of the type of ad that you are creating, is that don't let Facebook choose for you. And you're going to see why here. You see my potential reach right now is 2.8 million. Well, that will likely change as I change my placement. And here's why. I want to talk to you about the different options you have here. Okay, you've got all devices. I can choose mobile or desktop. I can tell you 80% of Facebook's ad traffic is mobile. So I could choose mobile only, and that's just people scrolling, thumb tapping, right? So the other thing here is we can uncheck Instagram. And the moment we do that, look what just happened to my reach. Okay, this is important, and here's why. If you're doing lots of Instagram marketing, that's great, and you can create some ads on Facebook from here, but create them separately. Don't lump them into what you're doing on Facebook, because you'll be throwing money to the wind that you can't directly account for. Okay, so I uncheck this, and even within Facebook, I will probably uncheck in-stream videos, and I may even uncheck instant articles. I'm still testing whether or not this one is a big factor, but we can see my potential reach is 140,000. I could go in there and do some things to increase that now, but my point is I don't want Facebook lumping in Instagram right here and increasing it by, what is that, by 20-fold? Okay, so that's why I'm going to uncheck Instagram, because Facebook has a way of slipping stuff in that doesn't necessarily serve you. Now, I want to show you some other stuff here. If I was saying desktop only, it's going to give me some other options. And then audience network, this one here, I will tell you, steer far and wide from this anytime you're running ads. And here's why. I've tested this every which way till Sunday, and I still have yet to find a valid use for audience network. So what audience network is it's not even sister companies. It's companies that Facebook has contracted with that are outside of Facebook, where it's placing these ads that aren't directly connected with Facebook. And so Facebook almost doesn't even care what these ads look like, because it doesn't impact the user experience of Facebook. And so what will happen is you will get a bunch of clicks, and you'll think to yourself, wow, my ad must be awesome. I'm getting all kinds of clicks. Okay, but the problem is that those clicks don't amount to much of anything. So I've tested this many different ways. I have yet to find the right type of ad that really produces results with Audience Network. And here's the funny thing, because we're doing an engagement ad, boosting stuff on Facebook, it's not even eligible for that. Okay, or a like campaign. This is just if you're doing traffic to your website or that sort of thing. Then it will send it to some other place where your ads are seen. So the other thing about Facebook ads is this one here, right-hand column. When do you use a right-hand column ad? The only time you're really going to use the right-hand column is for ads where people already have some affinity for you. They already know who you are. So when they're scrolling over here and they see your post, your ad pop up, it's kind of like, oh, I recognize that person. That's when you get more clicks from a right-hand column. And it can be a little bit cheaper. So it's good when you're retargeting, people have already visited your website, that sort of thing. Then you can start placing ads in the right-hand column, but always be testing to look to see how it's performing. In this case, again, we're doing mobile only. We're pulling it out of the right-hand column, it's not eligible, removing Instagram and in video stream, and I'll leave instant articles in there. That's still only 140,000 people, but that's where I'll start, and I could adjust this by coming back up here and increasing the number of interests and start driving this number back up. This is a fine place to start. It's saying removing Instagram may result in 44 fewer post engagements. That's okay, but I'm wanting to isolate it from Instagram and Facebook, okay? All right. Now what you can do, though, is you can come back later and duplicate this ad set and say Instagram only and just see how it performs in conjunction with it. If you have the budget, I would start, you could do all as low as $5, but if you have the budget and you really want to grow your audience and engage them, $20 a day is a good place for you to start and have a number of clients that are seeing ample growth by doing it this way. You don't have to mess with scheduling, but you could set start and stop dates. You could do a lifetime budget and say I only have $150 or $200 and I want to spend it over the next week and a half. So you have the options of doing that. You could also set it to certain times of day. You could do what's called day parting. Okay, so you have options to do that there. We're optimizing here for post engagement. This is where you let Facebook do its heavy lifting. This is where Facebook works really well. This means that Facebook is going to show your ads to all of these people, but the people most likely to engage your post is going to start with those people first. Bid amount, leave it at automatic. This is going to keep you in the game. Later, as your skills get better, you can do some things with manual, but leave it at automatic bidding right now. When you get charged, you leave this alone. You're going to leave all of this, the rest of this, as it is. You're going to click continue. Okay? What that's going to do now you see the check boxes here for your ads. Now it's going to bring us to the ad section. If you remember before, I said this is where your prospects, your suspects, this is where they see the image, it's where they see the headline, the call to action, and the supporting text. I'm going to choose my own page because that's where I put that new post that I created earlier today. And if the post was not there, and because it's the last one I created, it automatically comes up right here, okay? If that wasn't the post I wanted to use, I can create a new ad, and it would come in here and create one, all right? But this is the one that we want. It is mobile newsfeed, and if I have other stuff, featured phone, sometimes this won't show. You can refresh the page, but the image, as long as you see it on one of your ads, it will show on the rest, okay? So this is where we are now, is at the post creation phase. And because the post was already there, we selected who we want to see it, we're good to go. There's not any more that we actually have to do, all right? So from this point, just from an engagement perspective, I could review my order, and it's going to tell me what I named it. And if I didn't like what I named it, I can come in here and change it, all right? This is telling me the ad set I'm using, how much my budget is, and I can give the ad a name. And I will call this audience growth and engagement. And if I wanted to really just know which one, I might say it's the tree, because I know which one that is, right? So that's the point. At the campaign level, name it something that helps you know what the objective is. At the ad set level, you want to give it an idea of the audience that you chose. And at the ad level, you want to make sure that you're clear which ad it is that you use. From that moment, if I actually go through the process and place my order, my ad is now in review, okay? So what that means is that we actually have an ad created. It's very simple and straightforward. We chose our campaign objective. We set all the criteria for who will see it, where it will be placed in Facebook, where people will see it, how much we choose to spend, and for how long the ad will run, okay? And I chose $20 a day, so it's gonna run until I turn it off. And then, of course, this is where I chose to post. And from there, we just went ahead and got our ad all set up. Now, over here, I actually have two ads running now. Okay, as you remember, actually, this is my personal profile. Let me go to the page itself. The post itself, which is here, has two ads behind it now. I boosted it, and by the way, I could have done this in the ads manager as well. But I boosted it for $20 to reach more of these people than it did on its own, okay? Then I went into the ads manager and I created a post that's going to show this to people who are not yet fans of my page, but the people that I would like to be. And then what will happen is the people that now that they have liked this and engaged it, I'm not sure why Facebook's having trouble showing images right now, but what I would be able to do at this point, and this is interesting. So because other people have shared this, you're also going to get people that like this post that come in here. And I could roll over on this. And let me refresh my page and see if Facebook will update, because right now it seems to be having a challenge showing images. Yeah, it still is. So it's just it's either a Facebook or a browser issue right now. And it says my ad was approved, by the way, the one I just created. And of course it is, because there's nothing about the ad that is aggressive, nor does it send people off of Facebook, and those will tend to get approved faster. It's just a very simple, straightforward ad that's boosting engagement. So like campaigns, as long as your page has never been flagged before for an issue, as well as engagement campaigns will be approved the fastest. The thing you want to look out for, if you're ever doing a page to promote an event, you want to do it a day or two ahead of time. I've had some unfortunate situations where we tried to promote an event last minute, and the ad sat in review process for half a day. You don't want to run into that. Just something else I'll show you here. This up here, I just put in fb.me/jameson.social. That's how you get to my page. Just kind of a way to, even if people are sharing this or copying the image, all roads still lead back to me since I was the one that created it. Let's see. Oh, the other thing too is that if I go to, and still will now, for whatever reason, because the ad is still fresh and hasn't been driving traffic, I can still edit this post. But the moment that ads have been running and showing to people, this post will get locked down. So you will want to make sure that you've checked your post for typos and all that sort of thing before you push post to it. The only way to undo that is if you actually delete all the ads that are supporting this, then it will give you the option to come back in here and edit your post. So just something else to keep in mind. Let's see, anything else that I wanted to share with you? Oh, yes. Remember earlier we were talking about Terry and John's post for their Healthy Living Journal? I actually had that tab open because I wanted to show it to you because, again, I think it's super brilliant. Facebook likes very visual content. And now imagine you're scrolling through your news feed and you see this here and you're like, wow, that looks amazing. So then you're like, well, what is it? And you scroll through, what? It's a recipe. Are you kidding me? Look at these lettuce boats here. And you can see here they even have a call to action. All right? They got 70,000 fans. They can actually be coming in here and inviting these people to like their page who've expressed interest in this delicious, healthy snack. So this is an example of, you don't have to use photo quotes. I'm just giving you the example of a photo quote because it's on the diet of Facebook. Facebook consumes photo quotes. So I'm always looking for stuff that reflects a part of who I am and my tribe and the people that I'm looking to attract. And because I'm kind of in the entrepreneurial space and home business space, pretty much all entrepreneurs are in the personal development and motivation and that sort of thing. So it works for me. And again, the bulk of the people that have liked my page thus far were invited from this post, and I think I had a couple other ones down here. Actually, I can get through by image photos. There we go. Yeah, this was another one that I used. That's got almost 5,000 and 1,700 shares. So between this one and this one is basically how I built the entire audience. But again, the important thing to note, I'm not building an audience with just anyone, okay? I actually am only inviting the people to like my page who I am targeting because they're a good fit for what it is that I do, okay? And I can come in here and I can invite these people just like that, and that person's now invited. Now, is there a manual component to it? Absolutely. You're going to be spending some time inviting some people. Or you could do a like campaign. You can absolutely come back in here, close this, go into your ads manager, create another ad, choose the same engagement objective, but say page likes. I can continue. I could put in my page, and once I've done that, if I come all the way down here to the ad itself, Facebook's going to pull that ad, and that's what it looks like by default. I can come in here, and of course I can change this to say whatever, right? I could spell whatever. So that's the point, is you could do it this way, But my call to action might be something like, I'm sharing on a regular basis, I'm sharing tips and strategies from my agency about how to maximize your Facebook marketing. And I might even have a call to action, like my page to stay informed. Whatever, you can approach it that way. It's a little bit different when people see this in your newsfeed as in like my page, rather than when you come over here and you've invited someone to like your page, they actually get an invitation, a thing that pops up here, and it also ends up over here that lets them know that it's a notification that, hey, Jesse Jameson just invited you to like his page. It's a little more personal than them just seeing a likes campaign. And as a result, you're also going to pay a lot less for it because that ad doubles as audience growth and audience engagement. All right. So now we just kind of went through the process of showing you how to complete an ad. And again, if you were to do it as a like campaign, you do that here. You come back to objectives and say, no, I want to boost a post and do it that way. So those are your options. Another training and another time, we could absolutely go through lead generation ads, how to set up conversions, how to get more eyes on your videos, how to send traffic. Not only, if you chose traffic as an option, you have the ability to not only, you could send traffic to your website or to Facebook Messenger. And this is something that's going to become a hot topic. I already have some clients that are cleaning up doing this by sending traffic straight to Messenger so you can have a conversation with your prospects. This is only going to become more prevalent, and you're going to see lots and lots of more of this in the future. All right? So with that, let me dig in back over here. Just kind of I don't even think we need to do a quick recap, but I'll actually go back up to here because I wanted to show you that you have, again, this three-step process. I posted it to my page, it got organic reach, reached about 600 or so people, okay? I then boosted the post. I didn't have to boost it. I could have done it in the Ads Manager as well. But what I did was I wanted to reach the rest of my warm market, my warm target market. And that's the people who already liked my page. So they already know a bit about me, but I want to make sure they're seeing it. They didn't see it in the organic reach step, okay? Then step 3, and by the way, I did these at the same time. You don't have to. I could have done this a day later. But I am now targeting a cold audience, people who may not have ever even heard of me, but I want them to, okay? People that live in Canada and the US, ages 22 to 64, who are an admin on a Facebook page, who have expressed interest in Social Media Examiner, Social Media Today, maybe Murray Smith, and I could have added to that. I'm placing it specifically on mobile devices because 80% of the traffic is going to cost me less to get those views as well. And that is me now inviting people to come and like my page because I know I'm targeting the right people. That's my target market. So you see how I'm still now, I have a way to have a conversation with people that I know could use my products and services in the future, but I didn't have to show up and say, buy my stuff and be like that Arthur Lasko question mark guy showing up at a cocktail party being abrasive, okay? This is more of a soft approach. Now I have a digital connection with them. Now when I start to pepper in, remember when I was up here talking about the different things that you do? I can start to educate them now. I can start to inform them. I can start to invite them. Maybe jump on my newsletter subscription. Maybe buy Facebook Marketing Press or one of my newsletter where I'm sharing stuff about Facebook. There's a lot of things that I can do at this point because now I have a digital touch point with them. But I didn't have to start out the gate by brute force advertising, saying, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. I always like to refer to, the movie 50 First Dates, and when he went out to a place to visit 10-Second Tom, where he's like, hi, my name's Tom, and 10 seconds later you forget it. That's how brute force advertising is, and it doesn't work the same anymore. The last thing I'll say about ads is that when you run ads, pay attention to what is happening in the conversation that's taking place, okay? I had some instances where, and this will happen with all ads, okay? If you get enough eyes on your ads, you will eventually have people that leave comments, and you want to make sure you're grooming these comments because people want to hijack your conversation, because it is your conversation. You created the ad, it's now your conversation. And people will have all different matters of opinion. There's 81 comments here, and so you never know what you're going to get. So rather than simply letting people hijack, you have the option of hiding a comment, blocking a person, doing whatever you want. I have ads where people are wanting to put their own promotional link in there, and it's like, those jokers, it never gets far, but don't be one of those. But you want to make sure you're paying attention to your ads so that people are not hijacking your conversation. And that's pretty much it.